Hello everyone. We'll discuss about analytics, which is the backbone of any activity across any platform, any organization, whether it is government or semi-government or non-government or private or wherever you go. Analytics, what is analytics? Analytics is just another form of simple analysis of everything that we do, right? What is analysis? So I think we have 160 delegates from across 50 ministries at the moment here. So I would request any 3 or 4 of you to give just brief idea of what exactly we are doing when it comes to analytics or analysis of the social media activities or the data activities that we are doing in our individual ministry. Any 2 or 3 of you, please. Let's start with social media. Yes, ma'am.
So by analytics, we are basically trying to gauge that the content that we are putting on social media, whether it is reaching the right audience at the right time, whether they are liking whatever content we are posting on social media, and whether we are able to pass on the right message to them. So that is what we are trying to, and in terms of like impressions, views, etc. In terms
that
of
means, in other words, whether all activities we are doing on social media, they are solving the actual purpose of the activities or not, or they are meeting the expectations for the purpose for which they are being done or not, right? Anyone else? What exactly are you doing when you say you are analyzing what we are doing on social media? Because at MyGov we do detailed analysis. We all know, you all know us very well. Yes.
Right? Whatever we are posting on the social media, is it going to the right direction, right people, right geography, and how it is, more engaging? That helps us to understand. Accordingly, we used to schedule our things. We used to change our creative. We do some, changes in the text of our posting. These helps while we do the analytics of our social media posts.
Any specific tool you're using?
No, it's inbuilt only. X, we don't have the verified account. We tried a lot, but we don't have. But for Meta inbuilt and YouTube, it is good.
Okay.
So for Facebook, I used to go for, ad, Facebook ads. And there is test A and test B. Test A, creative will go to that sort of audience, and test B will go to different sort of audience with the different text and the format.
That is A/B. That is simple A/B testing.
A/B testing. So it helps us. We are not, paying so much, but yeah, it helps us to analyze the internal process and the posting times.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Now, if you read this heading, the very first word is effective, right? Effective government communication. We all are enhancing, we are all doing government communication. That is the whole sole purpose of the entire social media activities across all the ministries, right? What is the whole sole objective of the social media activities that ministries are doing? Disseminating right content to the right audience, right? Suppose you are from Ministry of Statistics, someone is from Ministry of Earth Sciences, someone is from someone is from UIDAI. The target audience for all the ministries can be same or not? No, they cannot be same. We have different target audience. So the objective with which the content is developed, the content is disseminated, and the flow with which the content is made to reach to the last mile audience cannot be same for all the ministries. Agree, everyone? So what special, what extra are we doing for it? So the process of making the process of making the content dissemination more transparent, accurate, and make sure that it reaches the last mile audience is a continuous process of refining the processes, right? And that is where the analytics plays the most important role. Not only in analyzing what we are posting, but more important, to strategize future course of action, making sure the mistakes, we all make mistakes. Even MyGov make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. All the social media work that we do is predominantly manual thing that we are doing. Being in government sector, we all know we cannot have automate processes. We cannot automate our social media postings content development and with the help of any tool, just like many private sectors do, right? Our entire course of action is manual. So a lot of mistakes in terms of content development, in terms of hashtags, in terms of keyword selection are being done on the daily basis, right? That is where the analytics in all the government departments and ministries plays the most important role, because we are not a private sector where the stakes are not that high as the case is with us, right? So I also made a very long PPT of about 54 slides, but I will not cover the point that Vikas ji and his team and Ashish ji's team have already covered from YouTube and Meta. So I'll be covering the things that you actually are here to learn, not the general things that you already know. So we'll discuss how to make our communication effective, how to avoid normal clerical mistakes that we do on day-to-day basis, and we'll simply do a recap of few KPIs that we use on the daily basis, and also the mistakes that we do and that we can avoid with few of the do's and don'ts. So in all government departments, we all know we do only two types of analytics. One is for social media and one is for data. Being at MyGov, as you know, in the morning, Garima requested all of you to subscribe to our WhatsApp channel, right? Right? I hope all of you have subscribed. Smartly she asked. But very smartly, few of the people have only subscribed. You went to the channel, but you did not subscribe because I have the analytics. Only 25 to 30 people have subscribed. So how can I say it with so much confidence? Because I can check with the help of analytics that this you have done and this you have not done. And that is where the analytics plays the important role in correcting your team, correcting your vendors, and also removing the mistakes that we do, right? So we do two types of analytics. One is social media analytics and second is data analytics. And when it comes to social media, we all know that it is not only about analyzing posts and public sentiments. We deliver insights to create engaging content, ensuring accurate messaging, and which strengthens MyGov's presence and connect with citizens. In your case, you also have to do the same thing, but the only difference between your individual ministry and MyGov is that MyGov's target audience is very generic. We do not make content specific to any particular domain or ministry. We make generic content. So our target audience is entire social media user base. But in your case, so for example, Ministry of Statistics might have a user base which has some takeaways from their numbers, right? And a small mistake, minute mistake in the numbers that they publish on social media with the help of their social media post can really do a big blunder, right? Which is not the case with the private vendors. So that is the reason why in our case, for all the ministries, these clerical mistakes, whether in terms of hashtags, numbers, content, can really take a very bad shape for all of us. So we will simply do and don't check how we can avoid these mistakes with very simple hacks, and our communication can improve. Second is data analytics. MyGov has approximately 6 crores of user base. Right now we are 5.78 crores. Very soon we'll be touching 6 crore. We are hoping before 26 July, our 11th anniversary. But with the help of those high user base, we actually help many ministries to achieve their targets. Many of you must be aware about the various campaigns that we do, and then you regularly get in touch with Renu ji and to help you with various campaigns to bring participation in your ministry's activities. So MyGov user base plays a very important role in helping MyGov and helping citizens to, helping government to reach to the last mile audience with the help of various activities. So MyGov actually do analytics in two formats. One is social media and second is data analytics. We'll start with social media analytics because that is the most happening thing at the moment. It is simply, we all know, the process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting data from social media platforms, whether it's YouTube, Meta, or LinkedIn, or X, and for Google for that matter, and Google Analytics, where you collect the website data, or you collect data from traffic data from your apps also. the study of all the data, making future strategies, making corrections in the regular content that we post, and how to ensure that the content is served to the last mile audience, serves to the target audience in the most organic manner, because we all know in government department running paid campaigns is a task, and we cannot have any inorganic campaigns so frequently unless and until there is a very big campaign coming up. We at MyGov also face the same challenge. So that is the reason why running your campaigns in organic manner and is the thing that we have to take care. We have to make sure that organically we reap the maximum benefits out of these social media platforms. And this we cannot do without puncturing the logic and the engine that social media channels, social media platforms use to serve the content to their audiences, right? And when I say puncture their engine, what is the exact meaning of that thing? Have you ever observed that when you go to Instagram Reels, every time you go to the Reels, you are served a very fresh content? देखा है ना? हम जब भी Instagram खोलते हैं तो हर बार हमारे पास नया कंटेंट आता है. कैसे होता है ये सब कुछ? कहाँ से Instagram पे इतना कंटेंट आ रहा है? Have you ever observed it? Wherever you go to Google, you Google anything for any query. Google works on your intent basically, as Vikas also explained in the morning. Google works on the intent of the user with which the user is searching the writing the query. So Google also gives you dynamic results every time. Instagram serves you different reels every time you go Instagram. ऐसा कैसे हो जाता है? Facebook, you go to Facebook videos, you are served fresh videos every time you go there. How does it happen? Anyone? Any guesses?
Algorithm.
Which algorithm?
We are pushing that content only to your feed. Matlab, suppose if I open the Instagram, I start scrolling, I stopped at gym. 10 minutes daily will make you like this. I watch the reel, and the third reel will be the same thing. Suggested, or if I'm not following anyone, but the reel will be the same. So algorithm backend पे work करता रहता है. क्या पसंद है, कब पसंद है, कितना देख रहे हैं, कितना टाइम देखा है, लाइक किया है, शेयर किया है, ये सारी चीजें काम करते हैं बैकएंड में.
Exactly. So let me give you a brief idea, because this will help you to make content, to create good content, and to re-strategize your content building and creation strategy. So basically in social media, there are two types of platforms. One is open-ended and second is close-ended. Twitter completely is an open-ended platform. We all know anyone can see anyone's content without the permission. Facebook is a partially open-ended and partially closed-ended also. Same is the case with Instagram. When you talk about an open-ended platform, the logic, the formula with which the content is served to you, it depends on three parameters. And those three parameters are demographics, interests, and behavior of the users. When I say demographics, demographics is the personal information of the user, age, gender, location, etc., etc., etc. Interest is the activity that the user performs on different types of content that is served to them. That means you like a particular sort type of content, and social media platforms captures your interest on their platform. Similarly, third parameter is behavior. That means I went to Facebook, I liked advertisements by Maruti about their upcoming car, and I submitted the query. And suddenly you will see that your feed is filled with the automobile cars companies' advertisements for their new vehicles. Observe किया है किसी ने? ऐसा होता है? होता है, सब पे होता है कि किसी एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे होता है? सब पे होता है ना? That means interest, demographics, and behavior are the three parameters through which all the social media platforms serves you the content, right? And that is the point where Google and YouTube are slightly different from social media platforms, because we all know which is the second largest search engine on the internet.
Second largest YouTube.
YouTube. अच्छा, आपने सुन लिया था. YouTube predominantly is the chota bhai of Google. Why? Because SEO, we all know, is a mechanism through which you can rank your websites on Google. Similarly, a bit of optimization of your videos can simply rank your video on YouTube as well, right? But YouTube is a search-based platform, whereas other social media platforms are content contributors platforms. Instagram works on which methodology? All these platforms works on UGC, right? We all know. Twitter is also UGC, Meta is also UGC, and all the platforms are UGC. But when it comes to YouTube, YouTube is also UGC, but YouTube is predominantly based on search. What does it mean? The organic optimization of your videos on YouTube solves the purpose for you. Just posting the content on YouTube will not give you views, will not give you impressions, will not give you any sort of interaction also. Agree, everyone? Agree? So what is the most important KPI? There are different KPIs across all the platforms. Let's finish this thing and then we'll come to KPI. Social media analytics, which is simply analysis of the content that we post on social media. It helps our departments to assess reach, impressions, engagement, and digital campaigns. Right? I think we all know the difference between reach and impressions. Everyone? Anyone? Reach and impressions.
So, of what I know is impression is something of how many people have got to see it, and reach is something with how many people got the reach of it. मतलब कितने लोगों को दिखा basically, impressions में दिखना और कितने लोगों के पास आया is reach, ये मुझे पता है इतना.
ये आपको पता है इतना. किसी और को पता है कितना? और what is the basic objective difference between reach and impressions? We all are from social media teams and we all make reports regularly, right? We all make reports, right?
Unique users reach है. Unique users
Unique users?
came under reach.
Okay.
And how many times the video has been played or the content has been seen by the viewers, that comes under impressions.
Okay, chalo. Without wasting time, मैं clear कर देता हूँ. There is a fundamental difference between impressions and reach. And we should all make a note of it because whenever we make reports, we have to categorically differentiate between the impressions and the reach. ये mistake अगर हम करेंगे तो we will not be able to analyze our content properly. Fundamental difference ये है, impressions is the number of times the content has been served to the users. Reach is the number of people who have seen the content. Right? Now that does not mean that you have seen a MyGov post today 5 times and tomorrow 6 times, the impression of my content becomes 11 and the reach is only 1. 5 times today, 6 times tomorrow, but the person is 1, the reach is 1, but the impression is 11. Right? No. The thing is, that's what I was asking Vikas to explain. Within the span of 24 hours, no matter how many times you see the content, the impression is always counted as 1. Single user. And if you see the repeated content 10 times continuously for 10 days, the reach will be 1 only, because the person is 1. Suppose Renu sees MyGov's content, same post, continuously for 10 days, the Renu will be contributing the number of the reach to only 1. But if she is seeing 5 times in a day for continuously for 10 days, within the span of 24 hours, the impression will be counted as +1 only for the span of 24 hours. That means in 10 days, the impression is also escalated, increased by 1, and the reach is also increased by 1. It is not that the impressions will be escalated by 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. No. This is the basic difference we all need to understand. The reach and the impressions different चीजें होती हैं दोनों. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि secondly, suppose you have a reach of say 1 lakh on Facebook and 1 lakh of on Instagram and 5 lakhs on YouTube, तो आपका जो reach है वो सब plus करके 5 + 1 + 1 + 1 ऐसा होता जाएगा. ऐसा नहीं होता है, although we have to give it in such a fashion. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होता है because there are common users across all the platforms that sees the content. Right? So this is the basic difference that we need to understand. And we have to have impressions as a most important KPI in our reports, because impressions on any day will be always higher than the reach, because one person can see a content multiple number of times, right? So always have impressions as the KPI across all the platforms in your reports, whether you make daily reports or weekly or monthly, whatever you make. Secondly, in case of YouTube, I also reconfirm with Vikas in the morning, no matter how many times that video appears on your timeline, unless and until you see it for minimum of 3 seconds, it is not considered as view. It is only considered as impression. When the users see your videos for more than 3 seconds, only then it is counted as a view. So there is a difference between impressions and the view. Secondly, thirdly, across all the platforms, the only KPI that makes sure and ensures that your content reaches to the maximum target audiences, and that KPI is called engagement. What is the basic understanding of engagement? Anyone? Like, comment, share. That means any mouse activity the user is performing on your content is engagement. यूजर ने लाइक किया, कमेंट किया, शेयर किया, नेगेटिव कमेंट लिखा, गाली लिखी, अच्छा लिखा, कुछ भी लिखा. नेगेटिव commenting, negative feedback is also contributing to your content escalation, right? The moment user performs any mouse activity on your content's visibility automatically escalates or becomes multiple fold to that particular user's follower base, right? Suppose I posted something and Renu sees my post on X and she likes or dislikes my content, automatically Renu's follower base is exposed to my content, right? वैसे वो बात अलग है, she always dislikes my content. So it is automatically exposed to her user base. So what does it mean? हमारी content की strategy, I'll use English and Hindi both, I hope you don't have any problem, right? So हमारी content की strategy कैसी होनी चाहिए? हमारी content की strategy ऐसी नहीं होनी चाहिए कि हमने कोई post बनाई, उस post पे hashtag डाल दिया, content डाल दिया and we simply post it. No. Our content strategy should be designed or architected in such a fashion that is designed to ensure maximum engagement or interaction from the users. Users सिर्फ उस content को देखें नहीं, वो उस content पे कुछ mouse activity करें. That is the reason, if you all, I hope you all follow MyGov, right? MyGov के channel को तो subscribe नहीं किया था आपने सुबह. I hope अब कर लिया होगा सबने. So I'll come back to you after 1 hour to check whether you are done or not. Suppose that is the reason why अगर आप MyGov को follow करते हो, if you all follow MyGov, then you must have observed that after a regular period of time, MyGov always create a content in which it takes your opinion, right? Whether in the form of a poll, whether in form of a asking simple question, जिसका आंसर सबको पता होता है. Of course, difficult question पे तो कोई reply करेगा ही नहीं. Simple questions बना दिए जिसपे users को आंसर पता है. Suppose Ministry of Statistics, यहाँ पे Ministry of Statistics से कौन है? Who is from Ministry of Stats? Okay, because we gave a workshop to Ministry of Stats, I think last year, Ashish ji, है ना? We went. So Ministry of Stats can simply ask a simple number: what is the population of India, or what is the population range of India? After every 2-3 days, create a post with a basic simple questions like कौन बनेगा करोड़पति का 1000 वाला question, basic सा question. So that the users at least plays any mouse activity on your content. चाहे गलत ही आंसर लिख दे. Have you ever observed on all the social media platforms, there are many so-called celebrities in India who regularly post absurd content to invite the galis for them. होता है ना ऐसा? Negative publicity is also positive publicity. तो चाहे negative हो, positive हो, whether it's negative or positive, after every 2-3 days, create a content which invites or attracts users' engagement, users' replies, users' mouse activity on your content. Because what happens? Because if the user is passing on your poll to any unknown person who has not followed your channel, the first thing that that social media platform asks that user is to follow your channel, follow your platform, right? It helps to increase organic follower base. It helps to maximize the exposure of your content to the larger user base. not only for this content, for the future content also, and also use interaction or the engagement. Make sure that your content strategy is moving in the right direction. So whenever you make, I think normally every ministry makes weekly reports, right? Weekly बनाते हो, monthly बनाते हो, क्या बनाते हो? Reports. वीकली मंथली सब बनाते हो. तो जब भी आपको ऐसा लगे कि इस वीक में कम हो रहा है ट्रैक्शन, मिड वीक में एक पोस्टिंग ऐसे डाल दी सिंपल से क्वेश्चन वाली, उससे बहुत सारा इंट्रैक्शन आ जाएगा. तो these are a few hacks you can use. It tracks performance metrics like impression views, I've explained, engagement, clicks and sentiment. Enables data-driven decision making for content strategy, audience targeting and crisis response. It plays an important role in increasing transparency, responsiveness and public trust in government communication. Okay. Now there are a few slides, we have made a few slides in which we have given you few suggestions on how to post content effectively on platforms, but I think you have already had enough of gyan from the morning ki kya karna chahiye, kaise kya karna chahiye, but we will simply come to the point wherein we'll be giving this PPT to you in any case, don't worry. So you can take pictures if you want, but no, we have had enough of knowledge from the morning, so we'll cover up things that we have not covered from the morning yet. So there are a few content things that we should take care when it comes to X. X supports bulletin service, open network, following mechanism, that means the people follow. Active users have a high frequency of posts, yes, we all know. There are a few actionable points that we have customizedly made for all the ministries. These were all also covered in the last DBIM we made. I hope you must have received the last DBIM, I think 1 year back we made. So this is just a copy of that, but I'll not cover everything because we've already had these things with you. There are a few benefits on X. It is an open-ended platform. Whenever you want to make any content viral, the virality starts with X and then it moves to other social media platforms. We all understand that. Facebook is an open or closed both. It uses images, videos, we all know. I'm not going into these basics, we all know because we are from social media platforms. Instagram, we all know Instagram is predominantly videos and reel based. Instagram is the most popular short video based platform. Common mistake that we do, I'll only cover common mistakes that we do, and that is all I think we need to learn. Whenever you are making any video content, the general perception is to make a video content for YouTube in 16:9, right? उसके छोटे छोटे से pieces काट लेते हैं और Instagram पे upload कर देते हैं without changing the format of the video, which is the most common mistake that we do. What does it mean? Instagram is predominantly a mobile device based platform, right? YouTube is predominantly a desktop based platform. In YouTube, the most common format of the videos is not square. It is rectangular but 16:9. Whereas in Instagram or YouTube Shorts, you need to have a video which is 9:16. Right, everyone agree? So what we need to do is, just like what Kanika was also discussing in the lunch time, हम एजेंसी से वीडियो बनवाते हैं, they charge me X amount for 16:9 video, and if we ask them to make a 9:16 video, they charge us double, right? So whether you are using an agency or you are using in-house development, in-house video editing team, you make sure at the time of creation of the video, you have both the versions of the videos, 9:16 and 16:9 also. Because if you make this clarity right from the beginning, the videos appearing on the mobile devices, they appear properly and then they serve the actual purpose for which they are made. आप अगर मोबाइल डिवाइस पे इतना छोटा सा 16:9 का वीडियो दिखाओगे, if you will serve 16:9 video on mobile devices, user will not be able to see the content properly, right? And the purpose for which you have spent that much amount also will not be served. So either you develop in-house capability to design the video in both the formats, or you get it in from outside, but the right practice is to cut the small versions of the videos from 9:16 video, not 16:9 video. Because short versions, wherever you post the short version, whether you post it on YouTube Shorts or you post it on Instagram, they are all mobile platforms. We have to understand that YouTube is not a mobile platform, although we see YouTube on mobile users as a mobile users also, but जब हमको YouTube में कोई वीडियो देखना होता है तो हम भी उसको रोटेट करके 16:9 पर ही देखते हैं ना. That's where the visibility increases with the size. So we have to understand this basic difference and re-optimize our resources to design the video in both the formats right from the moment it gets created. Publishing content on LinkedIn, trust me, in next 1 or 2 years, the pace at which the LinkedIn is gaining its credibility across all the sectors. पहले प्राइवेट में ज़्यादा होता था, अब गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर्स में the pace at which the dependency of all the intermediary bodies, all the ministries increasing on LinkedIn is really exponential. Because I was about to ask a question to Ashish, but I did not ask. Facebook is actually losing its credibility at a very fast pace. And that is the reason why it has to bring in threads, it has to bring in Instagram Reels. And that is where the LinkedIn is playing a very important role in justifying its credibility, whether you don't see nonsense on LinkedIn any point of time, whether you have to post jobs, search candidates. So what does it mean? It simply means our whole strategy should not be focused around Meta and YouTube. Our strategy should be focused also around LinkedIn. And the most common mistake that we do, which we should not be doing, is हमने एक ग्राफिक बना लिया, उस ग्राफिक को हमने फेसबुक पे पोस्ट कर दिया. We post it on LinkedIn, we post it on Facebook, we post it on X, we post it on Threads. Same content, same hashtag everywhere, bingo. No, please don't do that. I have seen 100 number of times across all the ministries, click here to know more as an Instagram text, whereas we all know that Instagram text does not support click here. It does not support external links. करता है support? क्यों डालते हो फिर? बहुत लोग डालते हैं, हम भी डालते हैं कभी कभी, फिर ठीक कर लेते हैं, सब डालते हैं. And that is why I am saying in government sector especially, the margin of error is very low, because 99 things we do right will not be counted. One thing we do wrong with a clerical mistake, bingo. है ना आशीष जी? Who knows it better than us? So that is what we have to, when we are posting the content, we have to design a separate content for all the platforms. थोड़ा सा difference. Not same hashtags, not same keywords, no. Secondly, whenever we are posting the content on YouTube, we are on YouTube slide, please make sure that if you are posting 10 videos in a day, do not use same title, same description on all the videos. It is not suggested. Many ministries, many people are still doing it. Yes, we understand there is a limit of resources and the time we have, because at times, there are times when we have just 1 hour to post 5-6 videos. There's no time. But yes, what we need to do is we have to make a simple different title, different description for all the videos. All the videos should not have a same meta information. This is all meta information, title, description, keywords, etc. That harms our channel in a way that at times it really does irreparable damage. Because we have to understand that YouTube is a search-based platform. It works exactly like Google. And when Google encounters same content on the multiple pages, it puts your site, it puts your content in a blacklisted list, and it does not show you in the searches. Right? If there is less amount of time to build new content, just add one line, post the content, later on edit it. You can do that. But at the time of posting, please do not follow the practice of adding same title, same description across all the videos and posting it. No. It will simply ruin your channel, and it will simply do a lot of irreparable damage to your content. Video streaming, completely open network. We all know basic video editing options YouTube already provides you. One question that ma'am asked in the morning, I would like to reply to that. Shipra ma'am asked Vikas that what is the difference if we make a raw video and if we make a edited video, and what difference does it make to bringing the traffic on the video? यही क्वेश्चन था ना मैम आपका? So the basic and simple answer to that question is there is absolutely no difference. आप raw video बनाएं, आप edited video बनाएं, लेकिन YouTube को उससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. YouTube को किस बात से फर्क पड़ता है कि आपने उस वीडियो के साथ जो मेटा इंफॉर्मेशन पोस्ट की है, टाइटल, डिस्क्रिप्शन, कीवर्ड्स, हैशटैग्स, दे शुड बी यूनिक टू दैट वीडियो. It will really not help you post 10 edited videos in a day and add same meta information with those 10 videos. It will do more damage rather than you post 20 raw videos and post different meta content with each video. Each video should have different title, different description, different meta information, and if you have Google Keyword Planner, it is a free tool, we all know, right? Google Keyword Planner is a free tool. Simply when you are writing the description of any videos, right? हम लोग description बनाते हैं ना हर वीडियो का. Simply go to Google Keyword Planner, write the title of the video in that Keyword Planner. It will give you the suggestion of the keywords. Right? देता है ना ऐसे? और when it gives you the suggestion of the keywords, in front of every suggestion it gives you the parameter of that keyword, whether it is high traffic and low competition or high competition, low traffic. Right? What we have to do is, when we are making description of the videos, simply go to Keyword Planner, write the title of the video, get Google's suggestion for that title, and simply select high traffic, low competition वाले कुछ keywords, add it in the description, post it. When you add keywords of high traffic, low competition, what does it mean? What is the basic objective meaning of this sentence? That means that keyword has very high traffic density and a very low competition. Right? So it will give you organic, if we give you rankings in the organic searches. So there is absolutely no difference little difference between raw and the edited, except edited ones looks very cozy, very flashy to look at. But if you do not have the capacity, remove this fear from your minds कि हम जब तक edit नहीं करेंगे 5 दिन लगा के तब तक हमारा वीडियो जाना नहीं चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं है. Raw videos rather, have you seen many influencers, they only post raw videos, right? And you see lakhs and lakhs of views they have, right? So when we are making content for Instagram, YouTube, we do not have to waste a lot of time in editing unless and until the video content demands it. But what we have to make sure, we have to make sure that right meta information goes with the video. Secondly, the initial 10 seconds of the video should have minimum dropout. That is what Vikas also mentioned in the morning, right? The dropout rate of your video in the initial 10 seconds decides whether the YouTube or any social media platform will serve your video to the larger audience base or not. What does it mean? अगर आपके वीडियो को स्टार्टिंग के 10 सेकेंड्स में ज़्यादा ड्रॉप आउट होगा तो आपके वीडियो को ज़्यादा लोगों तक सर्व नहीं किया जाएगा. सो व्हाट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर is your videos content should be designed in such a manner that initial 10 to 15 seconds में user drop out ना करें. उसके बाद कर लें तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इतनी ज़्यादा. Secondly, meta information. And that is the reason why you might have also observed a lot of times that whenever you see the videos of any good good news channel or good established organization, they serve, if the video is for 1 hour, they make a shorter version of the complete video in the initial 10 to 15 seconds so that the user gets to know what the video is all about without watching the complete video. Right? So you add the summary of the entire video in the initial 10 to 15 seconds so that the user does not drop out from your video in initial 10 to 15 seconds. And if you have less dropout, you have proper meta information and you have keyword optimized, your video will appear at the top on the search engines, and it will help you to give the rankings to your shorts also, because shorts will come from the same channel anyways. Clear everyone? Any doubts? So this is YouTube. This is already explained. YouTube for SEO. We are a government organization, and as Vikas also mentioned, and our CEO sir also mentioned, that YouTube is being used as an archive for all the government bodies. We have a lot of archival data. All the ministries have. MyGov has a lot of data, and all the ministries has. So you can simply do a archive section or a library section on your YouTube channel, upload it, and optimize it with basic SEO. SEO is search engine optimization, we all know that. And this optimization works for YouTube searches also, because YouTube is the product of Google only. Keyword research, I have explained you. Use Google Keyword Planner to search keywords, add it in the description. Title and description should be unique for all the videos. Tags. Tags is simply the another brother of hashtag, right? Simply add the keywords as tags in your when you add the video. Chapter markers. Vikas very clearly demonstrated how to make chapters in the long version of video. Suppose someone wants to see the video portion of the video which is at 32nd minute out of complete 1 hour. So he should have a marker at 32nd minute that this is the chapter I want to visit. Cards and end screens and promotion. These are the few matrices I think we all know, but let's do a quick recap, because we encounter these matrices on the day-to-day basis, and we need to have these matrices in our reporting, everyone, all the teams. Likes we all know, like, dislike. Nomenclature different हो सकता है दूसरे platforms में, but objective remains same. कहीं पे heart का shape होता है, कहीं पे like का button हो जाता है. But across all the platforms, the purpose is same. Purpose is to capture mouse activity from the user, whether it is like or dislike or download, anything. Comments we all know. Retweets, shares, reshares. There is one fundamental difference between retweet and quote tweet. I think we all know that, right? Remember one thing, if we are retweeting any content from our platform 10 times in a day, it will not give any juice of that retweeting to your account. If you are retweeting PM's content 10 times in a day and showing that, okay, our job is done, it will not give a single benefit to your account. Entire juice of the retweet will go to the originator of that content. अगर आप MyGov के content को retweet करते हैं, तो अगर आपके यूजर बेस से उसके ऊपर 100 व्यूज आते हैं, तो वो जो 100 व्यूज का जो बेनिफिट है वो आपको मिलेगा कि MyGov को मिलेगा? MyGov को मिलेगा. What is the solution for that? Always add one liner when you are retweeting or resharing any content. When you retweet any content, add a one liner and becomes a quote tweet, right? When it becomes a quote tweet or a reshare, it becomes property of your social media channel. And when it becomes the property of your social media channel, all the juice that will bring to that content from your user base will be credited to your account, not the originator. Do the retweets, but whenever you think like, do 2 or 3 quote tweets also. Impressions, views, we have understood basic difference between impressions and views. Account mentions, post engagement rate. What is post engagement rate? Anyone? Any idea? No? Engagement divided by the number of followers. Suppose I have posted 10 posts in one day, and different posts have different number of engagements. So how will I calculate average post per day? Average engagement per day. Total engagements added divided by number of posts, simple. Duration can be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 1 janam, कुछ भी. For example, अगर मैंने एक दिन में 10 पोस्ट की हैं और मेरी 10 पोस्ट पे किसी पे engagement आया है 50, किसी पे आया है 60, किसी पे आया है 100, किसी पे आया है 500, और अगर मुझे 1 डे के लिए एवरेज engagement निकालना है, तो what will I do? I will simply add all the engagements and divide it by number of posts I have done in that particular duration. The duration can be a single day or a single week or a single month. Anything it can be. Clear? Conversions generated per post, website traffic per channel. I hope we all monitor our website traffic. We all monitor. We all have Google Analytics implemented. Audience count and audience growth rate. Audience growth rate in government sector is very crucial, because we all work in a system where the increased number is very appreciated, whether it is followers or whether it is engagement. So how to calculate audience growth rate? कैसे calculate होता क्या audience growth rate? Audience growth rate is the rate at which our audience has grown in that particular duration. For example, June is about to come to an end. If your seniors ask me, because my senior regularly ask me every second day, कितना नया ऐड हो गया, ये सिंपल लैंग्वेज होती है ना, तो लास्ट 6 months में कितने नए फॉलोअर्स हमने ऐड किए या कितना हमारा ऑडियंस बढ़ा, उसको हम ऑडियंस ग्रोथ रेट बोलते हैं, राइट? What you have to do is, suppose on 30th June your senior ask you कि in last 6 months what is our audience growth rate? How will we calculate it? On 1st of January to 30th of June, 6 months, right? What we will do is 31st December रात को 12 बजे जो हमारा फॉलोअर बेस था, 30th June को रात को 12 बजे जो हमारा फॉलोअर बेस है, उसमें से हम 31st December वाले को सब्ट्रैक्ट कर देंगे, divided by 100, divided by duration, 6 months into 100. That is our audience growth rate in that particular duration. Audience growth rate, if you want to have in your KPI as an important KPI in your reports, that will really help you a lot, because audience is something simply follower base, and that keeps on increasing all the time. Decrease कमी होता है, तो वो आपके जो रिपोर्ट होगी उसमें एज अ पॉजिटिव KPI शो करेगा. द ग्राफ विल ऑलवेज बी लाइक दिस. तो इंक्लूड दिस एज अ मस्ट हैव KPI इन योर रिपोर्ट्स. Social media insights and KPIs, we all know. For Twitter, we have engagement, impression, views, reactions. We understood that. Facebook, we have organic reach in engagements, impressions, clicks, reactions. Instagram, we have reel views, engagement, impressions, story views, reactions. YouTube, we have subscribers, engagement, click-through rate, views, watch time, reactions. WhatsApp, we have follower count, reactions, view per post, links, link clicks. Now, these are all the basic do's and don'ts we have for social media. Now, when it comes to social media, the first thing that we do is to understand the objective of our ministry, create the content, with the help of analytics, submit the report so that clerical mistakes are not done, use right hashtag, do organic, do's and don'ts, blah blah blah, सब लोग करते हैं, right? एनालिटिक्स रिपोर्ट बना दिए और उससे एरर्स नहीं हुए और एनालिसिस अच्छे से हो गई, फॉलोअर बेस बढ़ रहा है, फॉलोअर इंगेजिंग कंटेंट बना दिया, ये सब कुछ कर दिया. बट आई थिंक फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस, MyGov also and ministries also, the next challenge that we are facing nowadays is tackling misinformation and protecting our online reputation. I think that was the question ma'am asked with him, with this guy Raghav or Ashish. ये एक नया challenge है, especially after the challenges that we have faced in the last month. I was not thinking of taking the name, but now I'll take, with the help of the operation that India did with the neighboring country. We have faced multiple pool and ocean of false information spreading all over the internet. Right? This is happening not only at the central ministry level, this is happening across all the individual ministries also. So the responsibility of the social media teams across all the ministries is not only to manage social media, but to help our ministry to tackle misinformation spreading about individual ministry or the department as well. Right? Now, if we say that we will tackle misinformation or disinformation, we need to understand what exactly misinformation is and disinformation is. दोनों similar से लगते हैं ना नाम? What is the difference? Anyone make a wild guess? What is misinformation? What is the objective difference between misinformation and disinformation? How to do it, we'll come to it, but I think most of us do not understand the basic difference between mis and dis in this information thing. One is intentional, the other is not. Exactly. So the basic difference, bingo, right on the point. The basic difference between misinformation and disinformation is misinformation when you spread something that you have not created. Any false information, suppose अभी 1 घंटा पहले एक प्लेन क्रैश हुआ है अभी अहमदाबाद में, राइट? अब देर आर रूमर्स ऑलरेडी ऑन द इंटरनेट, इट इज अ टेररिस्ट अटैक. उसके 10 मिनट पहले स्टॉक मार्केट क्रैश हुआ था, 140 पे 139 पे स्टॉक मार्केट क्रैश हुआ है. उसके थोड़ी देर बाद ही प्लेन क्रैश हो गया. तो पीपल आर लिंकिंग मल्टीपल एपिसोड्स एंड मेकिंग द नैरेटिव्स, राइट? नाउ when someone makes that narrative sitting at any point of the world, at any point of the globe, sends it to you, and you simply pass on to others. You are not creating that content, but you are passing it to others. What does it mean? This is misinformation. But अगर आप सारे एपिसोड्स को लिंक करोगे, स्टॉक मार्केट क्रैश हो गया, उसके बाद ये हो गया, वहाँ पे ये हुआ था, it is a 100% terrorist attack. You are not the authorized body to write that. That means you are creating a disinformation. And creating a disinformation can really put you behind the bars. So understand what is misinformation and disinformation. If you have this funda clear with you, then we will work on, I'll give you a few tips to how to counter, how we can make a few steps to counter it with the help of a few do's and don'ts. Yes. You may have propaganda, but in both the things, if you're not creating it, propaganda, yes, rumors and the propaganda. So misinformation refers to false or inaccurate information shared without the intent to deceive, though it can harm. प्लेन क्रैश हो गया, ये बताया मैंने, लेकिन प्लेन क्रैश होने के बाद साथ साथ स्टोरीज बना दी जो मुझे किसी और ने बना के भेजा, एंड आई हैव जस्ट फॉरवर्डेड देम टू अदर्स. दैट इज मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन. बट प्लेन क्रैश हो गया, उसकी स्टोरी मैंने क्यूरेट की कि वहाँ पे ये टेररिस्ट आए थे, ये था, वहाँ पे ये देखा गया, वो देखा गया, और इफ आई क्रिएटेड स्टोरी इन माई सेल्फ एंड आई प्रोपोगेटेड एवरीवेयर, दैट्स अ डिसइन्फॉर्मेशन. Disinformation is false, manipulated, or deliberately misleading information that is intentionally created or spread to deceive, manipulate public opinion, incite unrest, or achieve political, ideological, or financial gains. If any of the content you are making has the capacity to create any sort of public unrest, now or later, can really put you behind the bars. We should not do, we should catch the people who are doing that. Now, being at MyGov, we are at the receiving end all the time, and we regularly fight misinformation, disinformation 24/7. We have a separate unit at our ministry who fight, आपने news में पढ़ा भी होगा कुछ, if you are from ministries. So we regularly fight 24/7 all the misinformation, disinformation across all the sectors that the government is working on, and this is something that we need to take to the grassroots level also across all the ministries. So you have to discuss this thing with your seniors on how to do it with the help of existing resources only, without adding new resources, just a few do's and don'ts. I'll simply come to those do's and don'ts immediately. It is not a mistaken disinformation is planned and purposeful, often part of coordinated campaigns. You all know that. Now, why information is a serious government challenge? Misinformation about government schemes. Suppose PM launch a scheme called PM Uday, right? PMA. There are a lot of narrative-based videos spreading on the internet कि इस scheme में इनको benefit दिया जा रहा है, इनको benefit नहीं मिल रहा है. Have you ever seen such videos? Everyone? Give me a couple of examples. Anyone? Sorry? Agniveer, yes. Agniveer, Garima explained it very beautifully in the morning. Yes? Sorry? आवास योजना, yes. कि आवास योजना के जो benefits हैं वो पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी को दिए जा रहे हैं. I'll not take the name of the community, but ऐसा हुआ था rumor. Yes? Anyone else? Ujjwala योजना. So whenever government, India is a democracy, and whenever government do any good thing for the benefit of citizens, it also invites the criticism. That goes without saying. The criticism nowadays is not served mouth to mouth, it is served computer to computer or mobile to mobile. So disinformation, misinformation is something that we need to counter the smallest thing that we can do to start with the things is simply make a pointers or the categories of your ministry in which there is a chance of creating misinformation. Suppose Ministry of Statistics can work on the topics जिसके बारे में misinformation या disinformation create की जा सकती है. You can work with all the topics, create the topics within your ministry or the department. Simply, it starts with creating the topics on all topics in which there is scope of creating this kind of false narrative, false content. For example, viral jobs post using fake emblems. सब जगह घूमता रहता है job scams. We all see on the regular basis. आजकल तो हर फोन पे कॉलर ट्यून पे भी आता है. अमिताभ बच्चन जी बोलते हैं ना कि सीबीआई से डर जाओ, डर के पैसे मत दे देना. तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा स्कैम चल रहा है. तो वी हैव to make a list of topics that can be created within our ministry for this kind of content. Bogus links for applying in government subsidies, false videos claiming withdrawal of schemes, major issue caused by misinformation, public unrest, erosion of trust in institutions, threat to national security, economic disruptions, communal and social tensions. जैसे अभी वक्फ बिल जब इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था तो उसके बारे में बहुत मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन फैला था कि ये इससे ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, इनकी प्रॉपर्टीज ले लेंगे. अभी एनआरसी आ रहा है तो उसके लिए इतनी सारी चीज़ें कि लोगों के राइट ले लिए जाएंगे, किसी को बाहर निकाल दिया जाएगा. तो दिस काइंड ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन व्हाट वी कैन डू इज सिंपली क्रिएट टॉपिक्स of within your ministry. In my ministry, these are the areas in which there is a scope of misinformation being created. Create those topics, search content across those topics, and simply keep tracking those topics across the internet. With the help of many tracking tools like Vikas mentioned, there is a thing called Google Trends. I hope you all are aware about it. There is a thing called trends24.in. I think you all are aware about it as well. There is a website called trends24.in in which you see the trending hashtags within this hour and the last 24 hours which were trending on the Twitter. Trends24.in, TRENDS24.in. And also with the help of TweetDeck, there is a tool called TweetDeck. I hope you all are aware about it, right? So with the help of TweetDeck, you can make a list, you can keep a particular hashtag or a particular plan or tracking, and you can keep viewing the content. There are key characteristics: forward message on WhatsApp, use of old or unrelated visuals, emergence of look-alike URLs, shortcut URLs, regional and hyper-local language content, emotionally charged messaging about caste, religion, or patriotism, they spread more quickly. The more authentic or the emotional the message seems, the faster it spreads, especially in tier 2-3 cities. Because we all understand that all the social media platforms tracking, all the social media platforms narrative, we can only check when it is served in English and Hindi. But when it is served in local languages, the government have very little control over it. The government can really cannot really detect everything that is being spread on the local languages. So we have to make a list of the topics that can spread, that can be used to create misinformation, and how local languages can be leveraged to benefit the virality of such content. How to track, identify, verify, clarify, and then amplify. What is amplify? There is a thing called online response management, right? What is online response management? We are creating a content and people are posting comments about our content. So it is really impossible that every comment that is coming on our platform is positive, right? So we have to have a proper ORM methodologies, that is online response management, then how to counter false narrative, how to counter false content, fake content with the help of our replies. तो वी हैव टू मेक अ स्टैंडर्डाइज टेम्पलेट्स कि इस तरह के मैसेज का क्या रिप्लाई करना है, इस तरह के मैसेज का क्या रिप्लाई करना है. बट नन ऑफ योर पोस्ट शुड गो अनचेक्ड, नन ऑफ द रिस्पॉन्सेज ऑन ऑल ऑफ द पोस्ट शुड गो अनचेक्ड. दैट वी हैव टू एलोकेट रिसोर्सेज, और विद द हेल्प ऑफ अ फ्यू टूल्स ऑल्सो यू कैन डू इट वेरी इफेक्टिवली. ORM is very crucial. Effective ORM means this PPT will be given to you. You can simply check it on later on because we are running short of time. Strengthen credibility through coordination. Role of ministries in combating disinformation. Real-time monitoring. with the help of Google Trends, Trends 24, TweetDeck, Central Response Coordination, you can take help of PIB, you can take help of MyGov content, because whenever there is any misinformation, MyGov and PIB are the first ones to post its counter in the form of the post. Right? Keep checking MyGov regularly and subscribe to the MyGov WhatsApp channel in case you have not done it. This is the third reminder I'm giving to you. Trust building, unified government messaging, impact evaluation, and there are a few examples. Examples you can see all over. They were all in the news from 7th of May, right? All the fake news, we blogged about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of accounts of the neighboring country. And what are the few takeaways? Misinformation and fake news can deeply damage public trust. Online reputation management is the most effective investment that ensures transparency, responsiveness, and credibility. Educating the public and enabling them to identify fake content is as important as countering it. Ministries must treat social media as primary governance tool, not as a secondary broadcast tool. You can really use social media, and we should use social media as a governance tool, because we have everyone have mobile phones in their hand, and they are on the social media all over the time, 24/7. When ministries engage truthfully, respond promptly, and educate regularly, misinformation faced and trust wins. Thank you.